Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Oof, it's September. It's September 4th. Ooh, things are moving along. I don't know why September 4th seems like it should be important. It's not, though. I think September 11th is something
I don't
we're
I
supposed
don't
to
like
remember.
it.
You don't
I
like it?
only just accepted that we're in a new year and now it's September. It's worrying me. I'm getting older. I don't like it. It's
Well,
going fast.
it crept up on you like
Yeah,
I
it's
see that. Yeah, yeah.
sneaky. I don't
Sneaky.
like it.
Yeah. Well, coming up to a round number year, that should make you happy. 2020. Yeah.
Well, in hindsight, I guess that's okay.
I suppose so.
Uh,
It means I
you
only have
get
about
because it's
30 or 40 years
No,
2020.
left.
no, no, it
Uh,
doesn't. It's 2020. You know what that means.
No, I don't. What does that mean?
4 years.
2020 hindsight.
Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I see. Election year. Oh, yeah, no, I guess
Yeah,
that's right.
mm.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
I don't pay much attention to that because over here
More
I
like
can't vote.
re-election year. Am I right, boys?
Am I right? I don't know. It's a fair thing though. I'm not sure that it's in the bag completely for Trump at all. I mean, I can't see any Democratic person who could win right now. But I think this is the most awesome opportunity for a third party to come up and steal a win. Actually, I
Mm.
think
Yep.
it's the
Yep.
most. It's a
Whenever you're
perfect
ready.
time. Well, I'm just
That's right.
saying.
That's what we thought about Gary Johnson, and and he didn't know what a lipo was. So
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, the Aleppo guy.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
guess more than likely Trump will win. But I don't think it's in the bag. I don't think people should assume it's automatic. Actually.
To be fair, I had no idea what a lipo was either. So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna hold that over a guy like us.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is if you ever watch Mark Dice, you ever watch any of his stuff? He's kind of like a trollish news guy, right? But he does a lot of things where a man on the street, he goes out and he interviews people and just asks random questions like in 1776 America declared its independence. Can you tell me when America declared its independence? I mean, literally, this is a word for word question. And people like
1776.
1865, 1942. I mean, it's like, really? Really?
1776, right?
Right. Oh yeah, well yeah.
Right.
But I
Yeah, even
mean,
I know that. Wow.
well, he told you the answer in the question, right? But he does this kind of things. He does geography questions and things like that as well. And it's shocking how little people know about geography. I mean, you don't have to exactly know, be able to immediately point on a map where is Jordan, where is Iran, but you should at least be able to circle the area, right?
Well, Mark Dice also
Oh, I
asked
can't do
for.
that.
He also asked for. Let's see. Where is New Mexico? Should we ban hydrogenated oxide, which is water?
You're right, right.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, he has a huge list of
Yeah.
obvious questions,
Yeah.
and people literally just go, I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's just
I
showing
have
how
no
dumb
idea.
people are, and of course he's choosing, picking and choosing because he can talk to a lot of people, and a lot of them know the answer. He's showing the ones who don't. Of course, I get that, but it's shocking how many can't answer the simplest thing. It's just like what has happened to the education in the West. It's shocking, dude.
Yeah, that's true. But in some videos, he actually uh, preface in the video is saying, "I did not edit this video. All these people were asked one after the other,"
Yeah,
and it is shocking.
it's really really bad. I don't know, but I don't know. What do you think, Booster? Of course, George is Canadian and we're American, but I mean, there's really not much difference. We joke about that, but there's not much difference between us. But over in New
Uh,
Zealand, what do you think? How do you think the education is doing over there? I mean, seriously.
Well, it failed me completely, so I can tell you.
I don't know. You're a pretty smart guy, actually. I get the joking, but you're pretty on top of it, dude.
Well, I mean, I do okay in that regard, but I have not been able to take that into a professional field
Well,
at
that's
all.
that's more about motivation and ambition, not as much about education, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's funny over here in Japan in the 21st century of the year that is 2019. Japanese have an expression that they've had for quite a while, and they continue to say it: "Boys must be ambitious." How horribly unwoke of them
That's disgusting.
it is.
Does it imply that women can't be? How dare they?
Or maybe that women are superior and men need to work at it. Maybe that's what they're trying to say. I believe so.
Oh no,
Yeah, no. But
you can't
you
have
know,
that.
well, I mean, it's a simple thing. We want our boys to go out. We want them to be successful. We want them to start families. We want them to make babies, etc., etc. It's what we want, right? But Turtle Rabbit says, time is like water going down the drain, I suppose. Dark Admiral March Hare, which I always preferred March Hare to Dark Admiral, but I'll take it. If Trump wins, you will see a complete meltdown of the entertainment industry.com or and comics,
It'll,
sorry.
oh yeah, it would be brutal if
Oh,
Trump
well,
wins again.
isn't it already though?
It's already brutal, yeah, but I do believe things could get worse. It could absolutely get worse if he wins again. We don't know how. My imagination won't
Uh,
allow a guess, but it could get so much worse. Who
well,
knows?
Okay.
it
All
could,
right. You
yeah.
know what? I have no idea what I'm saying, but I'm going to say it with authority, so it
Hmm.
sounds like
Uh-oh.
it's factual. Trump losing could be a good thing for the Democrats and a great thing for the Republicans. Why I say this is because I postulate maybe 1 month in as a Democrat president, with all the lunacy that's going on, they'll probably be overthrown by the military, and the Constitution will be reinstated through martial law, and then somebody with a good head on their shoulders is going
It'll,
to
it'll
keep the
just be another
country together.
neocon with no balls.
Probably. But that I get the statement, George, but if that happened, the whole world would go into ridiculous level of chaos, dude.
Mm,
I mean,
mm.
really,
Yeah,
do you realize how many
but
people are just waiting for the opportunity for America not to be paying attention?
yeah, I know that. But are we all already? What do you call it? What do you call it? There's a word for it when you're preset with the mindsets. They do it a lot for um, the pedophiles do it a lot for the kid with the kids. They set the mindset on the
Sure.
kids. What's that?
Sycophant, zealots,
It's
idiots,
idiots.
insane.
Yeah, useful idiots. That's it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they're already built up enough useful idiots with all these ridiculous entertainments like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, you'll survive the zombie apocalypse and all this
Oh,
stuff.
I love that.
Oh
That is
yeah,
so
you'll
stupid.
survive
It's
when the
wonderful.
electricity goes out. No, 3 days, 3 days out, you're going to be starving. And
If you're in a
1 week
city,
out,
yeah,
in 1 week out, you're going to be dying of hydration
yeah.
and whatever is in the water.
Mm. I think it would be very difficult for us to actually have that kind of clinch in the armor. Actually, I know Hollywood loves this scenario because it makes fun entertainment. But I guess as an I didn't really think about that, but as an offshoot, living in the little village I do, it wouldn't be as bad for me because I got
mm.
farmers and fishermen and I
Uh,
mean actual people who do work every day around me. You know.
a zombie apocalypse is ridiculous anyway. Could never happen. A
No, but
robot
it's
apocalypse. A robot apocalypse, however, I'm terrified of.
That's true. That could happen. But
That's
no,
happening.
it's funny how many people like to talk about the zombie thing. I mean, Walking Dead had a big effect on people, I guess.
Hmm.
Eric Hawkins says, Chester, can you still vote over there, like absentee or something like that? I could. I could. I don't though, and the reason I don't is really rather simple. I don't think it's fair for me to make a vote and my vote possibly impacting the lives of people who have to live with my decision. Now, of course, it's completely nonsense and irrelevant because the last place I lived was Hawaii, and you guys think California is bad? Go to Hawaii. They're insane. Like they're loving the opportunity that communism could be coming their way with the Democratic Party. That's how insane they are.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter anyway. It's a weird thing though. When you leave America and you go live somewhere else, wherever the last place your address was is where you were officially, locked to. Which is odd because I've
That
lived
is so
several
strange.
places. It is strange. I can't choose it. I can't just go to my where I was born, my homeland, which wouldn't matter anyway. Rhode Island is equally crazy as far as Democrats go. But yeah, Try living in Illinois. Yeah, I imagine that must be interesting. I know we got Gary over there in Illinois, but he doesn't live in the city. But yeah, but I wouldn't do it anyway. I just don't think it's really fair of me to do that. I know it may seem
Mhm.
silly and idealistic, but it just doesn't seem fair. But nevertheless, whew, that was a nice warm up. We talked about everything except comic books. Sweet.
Yeah. So
So
let's talk comic books.
I'm going right now. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna share my screen, and then I'm gonna jump in here, and I'm gonna start talking about comic books. The very first thing I'm gonna do. Very first thing. Oh, by the way,
Okay,
guys, share it out, please. Help us out. Here
if
we
you'd
go.
like.
If you like. Now, oh goodness, is this? Oh, it is about comic books.
Hooray!
Awesome. Go ahead.
All right, this is from the Epic Stream. Vin Diesel Bloodshot movie will be getting its first trailer this October, and this is from
Sweet.
Sumo, I believe.
This is from Samali Olki,
Mhm,
our Finnish friend, of course. And I do
Mhm.
pick out some of his news from time to time if Denali hasn't covered it. We do appreciate Samali. But we talked about this a little bit a few weeks ago, but we just touched on it in passing. And this article doesn't do anything to add, really. It's just talking about October trailers coming. But I would like to have a kind of a general conversation, if we could, for a moment, talking about the idea of Vin Diesel playing Bloodshot, because he's a fun action character, a hero character. I think he does a good job with that. And now, of course, Bloodshot, just for those of you guys who don't know, is from Valiant. Now, Valiant some years back here had kind of a reboot of themselves, successful one, I'd say. It wasn't as big as I'd hoped it would be, but they got themselves a little woke, I think. But in general, I think the Bloodshot comic is fun. I've read many of them. I like it. But what do you think, Booster, about Vin Diesel playing the nanite cyborg, I guess. That is a Bloodshot. What do you think about it?
I'm afraid I know nothing about Bloodshot, so I can't really comment. What is he? IDW?
No, it's Valiant Comics.
Valiant.
Valiant.
Valiant. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
jeez. Yeah, I missed up that. And is he a Japanese hero? Because he's got like it looks like a Japanese flag on his chest, or is that
It
just a red
it
circle?
it does look very Japanese, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
no, he's just a soldier.
Okay.
And he's part of an experiment, of course, government experiment. It's pretty standard superhero stuff. He's got like these nanites. He's kind of like Wolverine in a way.
Hmm.
He's very Wolverine-esque, I'd say. It's their closest character to it. But yeah, I kind of like it though. I thought it was fun. It was funnily written. I mean, Armstrong and oh, what is the name of that? Armstrong and something Denali from Valiant. Oh, help me out in the chat. Woody, Armstrong and Woody. I like
How
that
old
one
is Vin
better
Diesel
though.
getting? He's
Woody,
52 right now.
yeah, right. That's pretty cool, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
But
he's doing well.
he is doing well. And I like Vin
Hmm.
in general. I think he's fun. He's not the greatest actor. He only does one character, but
Hmm.
most of Hollywood's the same, right? But I like him.
Isn't he gay?
I don't know nor cared. Yeah, he's probably fluid. They all are.
No,
Uh,
he denies it, but yeah. Hmm.
yeah. Well, you know what's funny? There was I was just kind of because I when I'm working in the morning, I just kind of turn the YouTube on and just let it go through my suggested stuff, and just kind of listen as I'm working. And Jeremy over the quartering was covering the Justin. Is her name Justin Stewart? It's not Justin Stewart. What's that? Kristen Stewart.
Kristen
Kristen
Stewart.
Stewart. That's it. Yeah.
Hmm.
And how she was saying, yeah, I was told that I needed to keep my gender fluidity in check in Hollywood because it wouldn't get me work like such at Marvel. So I can't tell people that I'm bisexual. And it was like,
Alex, I'll take things that did not happen for $500.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
right. It's the Hollywood being
I'm
such the opposite,
so pressed.
right? It's funny. I was like, "Oh, you want to try something hard? Go try to be a Christian who works in Hollywood, or a conservative, even just something simple like that."
Tim Allen, yeah. Or I was going to say Rob Schneider, but there are plenty of reasons why Rob Schneider doesn't get work.
True, true.
One of those
But
is not being
yeah,
funny.
well, no, she's one of those actresses that I mean, I think Natalie Portman's even better than her. and that's
Mm.
saying a lot for me
Really?
because you guys know I can't stand her.
Yeah. Well, Kristen Stewart's got to be one of the worst easily.
She's
She
really
got that
bad.
fish lips expression 24/7. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we watched that trailer of that movie she's in recently, and she looked like Eminem. It was awesome. But
Yeah.
you know that dude, the Patterson kid though, he it's a hard thing to shed that Twilight. That's hard, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very mockable. But he did a couple things recently, and especially the Lighthouse. That dude's the real deal, man. He's
Mm.
he's an actual actor.
He could probably do it. We'll see. We'll see if he can do
Mm.
Batman. I'm rooting for him, but if he doesn't pull it off, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm gonna say so.
Now, what is going on here? Nick W says he's talking to a March here, and he says, "Pay no mind to Master Busby. He be a landlubber." Well,
What is
not really,
landlubber?
but I don't know where it's coming from. I'd like to see the other side of the joke. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
see it offhand. Actually, I come from a family of fishermen, so I kind of grew up on the water. But I'm sure
Mm.
I'm making the joke funnier by acting like an idiot.
Yep.
Yep,
Oh yeah, totally. Keep
awesome.
talking.
I'll keep
Keep
talking.
talking.
There we go. Armstrong Quantum and
uh,
Woody Quantum and Woody. Thank you, Archer and Armstrong Quantum Woody. Thank you very much. Yeah, those are pretty good comics, dude. But anyway, Denali, you have any opinion on this?
I mean, not really, because it's Valiant, and they're probably going to go with the whole woke storylines
Mm.
that's happening. So it's not even going to be the good Valiant, anyways.
Maybe, but Bloodshot is a little hard to screw up, man. It's pretty simple. Point him in a direction and watch the bullets fly. I mean, it's kind of that character.
You underestimate the
I
power of
know.
the stupidity of Hollywood.
You're right. You're right. But one thing I did appreciate about Valiant when they did their return some years ago, I don't know, it might be a decade now, but
Hmm.
they really were pushing. They tried to get themselves a tabletop RPG game out there. They tried to get
Hmm.
themselves a movie universe franchise. They really made a hard attempt to be something, and we're starting to see the fruits of their labor here. With the fact that Vin Diesel's doing a Bloodshot movie, I mean, it's they really tried hard to be something. Because if any of you guys remember, back in the '70s and early '80s, Valiant was a thing, and they were a smaller publisher, but they were a thing, and then they just disappeared. And I think it's cool to see them return, even though they have kind of got woke. Oh well,
You gonna? Do you reckon they're gonna try and do a extended universe movie series?
that's what they want to do. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they've been very open about it. So, and one of their characters that got them into real trouble recently is Faith, and she was part of their kind of their mutant storyline run in a way is what it was part of, and she's just big old fat girl who's a super fangirl, and she can float. That's her power, right? And yeah, well, uh,
Are you
and
serious?
I'm
Oh my
serious.
god.
But inside the confines of the team she was in and the story, it was fine. It was pretty good. She was kind of the heartwarming, true believer type of character. But then they spun her off. They wanted to, give her own comic, and they kept going on and on about, yeah, we're healthy at any size and fat girl representation, and yeah, on and on and on, that kind of crap. And it's just lost them a lot of readers, man. They made a valiant effort. Goodness gracious. Yeah,
Dad jokes coming in the chat.
that's
Thank
Eric. Yeah. Turtle Rabbit says, I want to see a Exo Man of War movie. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to see too. And I get the joke, Nick. Faith is a floater. Yep, in every way. Let's move on here.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Mr. Patterson. Hmm,
Oh,
Denali.
hello.
Right. Oh, before I move on, just want to let everybody know that our 1 year anniversary is this Saturday.
It
1 year
Oh,
from streaming. So I would be remiss not to say something
oh my
about that.
God! You guys better
Yeah.
get me something.
Oh, get you something.
You gotta give
Okay.
me something nice.
That's one day after Friday the 13th.
Is it?
That's yes,
Oh,
it is.
oh
No,
no.
that's the next week. This is this Saturday, the 7th. But
Yeah.
What?
yeah,
What?
yeah, we didn't
I
time that
already
well.
lost a week.
I
How
missed
did
it
that
by a
happen?
week, George. I do apologize. But yeah, that is kind of cool. 1 year in. We'll definitely. Oh, we have a guest this Saturday too. Can I don't have Discord up. Who's
It's
our guest?
Steve McCullen
Oh,
from
door
Door
knockers. Yeah,
Kickers.
door kickers.
Is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
Door
yeah.
Knock?
Okay.
Door something. We know it.
No, it's door kickers is what it is.
It's
Yeah,
Door
yeah,
Kicker.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be fun.
So yeah.
Awesome.
But going back to the news, this is from Valiant to Comic. An alleged plot summary from Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson Batman detailed grisly conspiracy.
Mm,
So again, it's reinforcing what Matt Reeves had been saying, that this is pretty much following the Halloween storyline,
right, right.
and more of a detective thriller than a detective action like most Batman movies are.
I'm
Um,
100% down for that though, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hope that's what the case is. It's just
The
the
case.
beginning.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I hope, from the conception remains to the execution of the film, because it's been several years, it's been several times it's stopped, been several scripts that's been revised and rewritten and all that stuff. Hopefully it remains to the finished product, that we actually see the world's greatest detective actually detective team.
Right,
Detective
right.
team.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think it'd be good, and I'm telling you what, I was really hesitant about this kid here. He's not a kid, but this guy, the Twilight guy, because he's the Twilight guy. But
Right.
if you have any doubts of him whatsoever, go watch the new movie Lighthouse. Go watch it, and you will have no more doubts about this guy. He's the real deal. So,
I was gonna say go watch Good Time.
yeah, no, he's had a couple of good movies recently. Actually, he's a really good actor. Patterson, I think his name is, right? Or Pattinson or something like that.
Who cares?
Pattinson. Yeah.
Pattinson.
He's the
Yeah.
Twilight guy.
He's the Twilight guy.
Twilight guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so no, I definitely hope that that's the case. Apparently, I heard that when he auditioned for it, he was wearing the Val Kilmer bat suit for the
was he?
audition, like
Oh, really?
some of the other some of the other guys.
I think that's a artist rendition, but oh god, the face on that.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have the best face to play Bruce Wayne. He doesn't. It's true. He didn't age pretty. Which some of them don't. He certainly didn't age pretty. Another one who aged very, very unattractive was the two girls from the Game of Thrones, though. What's their names? The little redhead and the little hairy
Sansa and
the
with the
hairy
bug
troll, the little one.
eye.
She literally looks like a troll.
Arya.
It's really unfortunate. Yeah,
Yeah. Poor
yeah,
thing.
poor thing. Yeah. The other girl, I think she's just kind of a normal looking girl. She doesn't have the Hollywood beauty, but I think she'd be okay. But the little one, that's gonna be rough, dude. You know. But she is one of those get woke girls, so whatever. I don't care. But good job, guys. Yeah, no, they say it's hard to get a year of YouTube on. I understand it. Sophie Turner, yeah. It's weird because when they were little, they were cute, yeah, and of course that's why they were cast, because they were cute and they could follow direction a little bit, right? But Sophie Turner didn't keep it. But like I said, she's kind of normal. But the other girl, I can't think of her name. Man, she just
Maisie Williams.
yeah, she got real bad ugly, dude. It's sad, really. I know she's a super woke SJW. I know that, but I can still feel bad for her.
Oh, did you notice that the moment Dark Phoenix became a bomb, she stopped virtue signaling. She stopped, speaking out.
Sophie, yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Her virtue signaling was dependent on this capitalist success of a movie. Wow.
Of course, right. But the Maisie Williams girl, she's in the New Mutant movie, right? Which we kind of assumed has been shelved.
Wolfbane.
She's playing Wolfsbane. That actually kind of works, actually, with the way she looks. Actually,
Yeah.
that might be good. And Wolfsbane is a good character, actually. She can act as well. But we thought for sure that was shelved, and everyone thought so. But it sounds like Marvel is going to put it out next year without any reshoots. So it's like I don't know,
Okay.
well, because people said
They
they lost
already
a lot
have
of.
They already did so many reshoots. It's just like, let's bite the bullet and throw it out there.
Well,
We'll recruit the money because people will buy the DVD, or we can sell the rights to the movie like HBO and stuff like that,
yeah,
and
sure.
recoup it like that.
Sure. Well, and also I think for them, I mean, people thought about, oh, Dark Phoenix lost $130 million. Well, it didn't lose any money for Disney at all. Any profit it made, it was pure profit for them because they didn't put the cost up. I mean, technically, right? I
I
mean,
mean, technically,
technically, yeah.
but they did have to pay for the reshoots that technically happened.
Mhm. Actually, Roger has a really good question here. He says, "What was the story with the Spider-Man 2099 movie? So no one liked it enough to talk about it." Well, I'd heard that they were talking about it, but I haven't seen anything. What did I miss?
I didn't know that was even in discussion.
Well,
Oh, that one is kind of part of the negotiations with Disney.
mm, I heard it
It
was
was
on the
gonna be,
list of canceled, right?
yeah, it was on the chopping block.
Yeah.
But I think Sony wants to pick that up for their Spider Universe verse and see how that's going. It's one of those contingent plans to see if if Spider-Man doesn't work out, then we'll bring out this new Spider-Man
Hmm.
2029 kind of deal.
Well,
Um, and I think they already started it because they were going to cast Oscar Isaac as that Spider-Man. They
mhm,
had him already voicing into the Spider Verse.
yeah.
You know,
Well, the interesting thing though about that is this current Spider-Man we have going on with Tom Holland, we know that it's really just kind of a white-faced version of Miles Morales. We get that, but it has elements of Spider-Man 2099 a little bit because they went with the Iron Spider thing so heavily that Spider-Man is more Iron Man-like than he is Spider-Man with all this tech in his suit.
Hmm.
right?
It's kind of interesting, but I don't know, dude. I wouldn't mind to see it though. Maybe. Depends on who's handling it. To be honest with you, Spider-Man is so screwed up right now. I don't even know what to think, dude. But it is what it is. March Hare says, "I would love a Spider-Man 2099 movie if done right and sticks close to the source material. I love the original run. Yeah, no, I remember the comic when it came out. It was I liked that one a lot, and I like the what was the other one? Doom 2099 was a good one too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. The 2099 runs were they were pretty good. I
yeah,
mean, the only problem is that a lot of us comic book readers are resistant to changing the formula at times and say
sure.
what is this, and it kind of failed because at that time the comic book industry was still selling in the millions, and they didn't make they were making a healthy couple 100,000 um print run, where in this and which in this day and age Marvel or DC would be killing for.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But they canceled it because their number weren't in the expectation of the millions.
But it was before the image revolution, though. It most certainly was. I
Right,
remember reading it in a bedroom, so I was still living at home
right,
when it came out. So
right. And that's why I was explaining the whole print run, that it wasn't meeting the expectation of
of that
selling
time, yeah,
millions. Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense.
which at current time they would be killing. This would be like the most successful comic book in all time. That's how they would be spending it in today's climate.
Yeah, I agree 100%, March Hare. Something else that was really cool that I'd love to see a spin-off come out of is that Into the Spider-Verse. It was very well done. The production value was amazing. It was cool looking. There was a lot of good things about that. I mean, it had some stupid things stupid woke things as well. But the production of that was awesome. And the interesting little the character that kind of came out as the fan favorite of it was actually Spider-Man Noir with Nick Cage. And I love that Spider-Man Noir the mini run that came out. That thing was badass, dude. I would love to see them do a spin-off with Nick Cage voicing Spider-Man Noir and do that. I mean, did
That'd be
you?
cool.
It would be really cool. Did you guys see the character design they had for like Vulture and stuff in that? He was like a gangster. It was really badass,
No,
dude. I would love to see that happen, and seeing as he was kind of the surprise, popular part of the Into the Spider Verse, it's possible, right?
Right, but I would be careful because uh because he's like Johnny Depp, where he's playing Captain Jack Sparrow of the Spider Verse,
Right.
to give a analogy, and he's just spice, and if it's too much, it becomes bland. Kind of like how I think Pirates of the Caribbean Into the Fountain, or whatever it was called, number 4 or 5,
hmm
was too heavily on Jack Sparrow, and it wasn't as good as the previous
Wait,
movies.
I don't know, Benedict. Did they? That would be cool. I have to check that out. No, I get what you're saying, but I would at least like to see a try of it. I mean, it's kind of like the old, oh, I can't even. It just left my head. The old detective stories where he's narrating himself. I think it could be funny and cool at the same time, and have serious moments. I just in my head automatically, it's like boom, it would be cool. You know.
Well, he's always narrating.
So, what's this article about again?
It's this
Yeah, I
this
know. We need to
article was
move on. I'm sorry. I do. Well, next,
No,
I
we
do
didn't even
apologize.
discuss the article.
No, we did. We did.
we did.
This
It was
is yeah.
No, we
plot
didn't.
leak. Yeah, it was a plot leak
What was the plot leak?
That it's going to
of
be
the
detective based instead of action based.
right,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it's going to be based on The Long Halloween by
Yeah.
Tim
Oh.
Sale.
Yeah.
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 Oh, okay.
Yeah, we covered it like in the first few seconds, and then we talked about other stuff.
That's all we need. I
That's
see.
it.
I apologize.
So we're
Yeah.
moving on. Here I
No
am. There's a
problem.
Doctor Who thing. Let's talk about Doctor Who and be depressed. Go ahead.
Oh,
Well, Peter Capaldi is joining James Gunn, the Suicide Squad, in an unspecified role, but most people are specifying he's going to be the Clock King.
Maybe.
Yeah. And then they're saying they've rumors circulating as well that there's Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live might be doing a cameo or some kind of part.
Yeah.
for
Thank you
him.
very much, March Hare. Mickey Spillane. That's exactly what I was thinking. You're a good man. Yeah, no. But continuing with this, the problem is with Peter Capaldi. No, he's the dude on the left, right? He was the Doctor Who
yes.
before.
Right.
The problem with him though, he can act. I've seen him hit him in stuff. He's kind of a character actor.
Yes.
But the problem with him is he's very willing to be the vehicle for the wokeness, because you know how they keep saying it's canon, that Doctor Who can be female. It's a canon. Well, it's out of what he said in his run just before they brought the female Doctor Who in, and he did a lot of laying groundwork. His characters, the whole point of it was to lay the groundwork for the female Doctor Who. That's the only reason he was Doctor Who, was to do that. So he came on board and was completely willing to facilitate that for them, right? And of course, it became an absolute failed debacle, because no one wanted it, right? And it was done very poorly because they didn't even cover the doctor. It was more about the girls around her. But so he's this dude. Therefore, I don't trust him for a second, dude. Not a second. You know?
Right. Well, I'm pretty sure that we'll see how bad this runway is going to be.
Well, I don't know. The Suicide Squad, the first one was so bad. It was so poorly written. It was exactly the wrong idea. Are they going to do better this time? I don't know. You know, and just because he did facilitate that doesn't mean he wouldn't be good for whatever character they're going to have him as a villain. And if he is going to be Clock King or something like that, well then it sounds like they're going more street level, which is what we want, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It sounds like they're getting some really strange characters. Did you see? So Idris Elba is replacing Will Smith as Deadshot, right?
Is he?
And
That's
I believe
what's
so.
reported. Yeah.
And we're also getting the Polka Dot Man. That is a really
Yeah, that's
odd character choice. That's a Silver Age character, isn't it? Like one of
Yeah.
those silly joke characters. He was a
Calendar
Batman villain.
Man, and yeah, no, but that's cool
Yeah.
though. I'm cool with that.
And
But
King Shark should be cool. That's who it should have been instead of Killer
ooh,
Croc.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. But
Yeah.
the problem is we know it's going to be all Margot Robbie all the time. Everything is going to be coming
Well,
off of her
yeah.
because that was the only successful thing that came out of the Suicide Squad, and
You
it
know,
was
she's
only
just a
because well, it's just the
crazy
TNA, right?
chick with a bat, right?
Well, I mean, she just kind of has, and she's got a nice rack, really.
Yeah.
I mean, in the
Yeah.
end, but yeah, I have. We'll see, we'll see, because my expectations are
Hmm.
so low. Maybe it'll be fun.
Maybe.
Speaking of,
Bird of Prey. Wait, didn't we talk about this?
we
Yeah,
did, we
Bird.
did, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Bird of Prey is undergoing massive reshoot to remove the pedophilia story that we talked about way, way, way in the back end. And this is not even a simple reshoot. They're actually redoing the whole movie because how extensive this plot line was throughout the whole film.
Mhm.
Oh my god. Wasn't this quote unquote pedophilia themes just a 13-year-old swallowed a diamond that had dick pics in it?
Something like that.
That
And
was a stretch.
they're just silly,
Not to mention,
yeah.
how do you
Um,
put dick pics in a diamond?
well, actually, the science behind that is quite interesting. Diamonds, crystals in general, can be very much used for storing data. Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He
It,
meant it more of a rhetorical question, not an actual
that's why I
no,
didn't go into
I
an
actually,
in-depth scientific explanation of why that
I
works.
actually was wondering how the hell that happens, but also just it was a flash drive out of the question. Just a.
Well, it's got to
it's
be
it,
superhero
Why
it's
does
related.
he have his own dick pics on file? Why didn't he send them to someone else? Why does
Because
someone else
he's
not have them?
gay.
Don't just send them off to someone else and delete them.
It's a gay
I
thing,
mean,
Booster. It's a gay
I'm
thing.
just wondering, it's dick pic etiquette, Chester.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
I apologize.
like
But
101.
Jesus. But no, it is stupid. It's completely stupid. But they are stupid, aren't they? Right?
That's just
Uh,
ridiculous.
yeah.
well, for all their
Why would
complaining
you
and
make
stuff
the
like
main
that,
focus of a superhero film dick pics?
I know, right? But take a look at this
Oh,
here. I left it here for a reason, not just for Margot Robbie. But
Hmm.
look at what she's wearing. Look at the tube top she's wearing. I thought, I thought we weren't supposed to be looking at the ladies anymore, right? But yet here she is dressed with about the smallest type of thing she could possibly have on, really, other than a string, I suppose. Knowledge is power, March Hare says.
They know where their money is buttered.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah. Suicide Squad is as much a David Ayer film as Street Kings was. Both were chopped by studio execs and admittedly suck. Well, there you go. Yeah, cult film videos. Thank you. Very nice. Edwin Boyette says degeneracy. Well, I'm sorry,
yeah.
but Booster needs a home. I can't just kick him out into the rain, Edwin.
I I thought he was referring to the dick pics being the main plot point of a superhero film, not me, but it could also
No,
apply to me. I
It
don't
could.
know.
I think it could. Well, no,
It
no, he was.
probably
but
does.
I agree with your first statement, though. That's the stupidest thing. They're actually doing research, reshoots because of the pedophilia claims. Because in it, it's just his dick pics on a crystal, and a girl, which I don't know, maybe this girl, maybe swallows
I
it
think that's
to
supposed to be
smuggle
for
it out
Sandra
or
Kane.
something, right? And that's
Yeah,
why, because she put this data into her body. I mean, you can't
yeah.
be more stupid than that. I mean, you could, I suppose, but damn.
I mean, I think the interesting part is when they were writing this, nobody during the process of writing the script, reading the script, approving the script, finalizing the script, did anybody raise up their hand? Should we look over this point of her swallowing this diamond with dick pics? And because of the culture we're in, they might call it pedophilia.
I
At one
don't
point, did
wouldn't come up
nobody
in my
say?
mind.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the point. I'm saying, there's so many people, so many rewrites, so many things going on to build us. These films are always made in 3 during the filming or the pre-production, the conception of the
All right,
script,
right.
the shooting and editing.
Mm.
And no part of that at the pre-production stage did they say maybe we should change that because of the quote unquote possible image, because you know how risk studios are. Nobody came out and said maybe we should change this before we spend millions of dollars of reshooting and redoing the whole film.
Yeah, well,
Dinale is right. There's just so many layers in the production. Surely there's somebody who should have spoke up about it. And thinking about that, extrapolating from it, it sounds like the director and the writer, they were surrounded by yes people.
oh well, that's what happened to Lucas, right? But actually,
Right.
for me, 2 things come out. One, why aren't we fighting Black Mass simply as a villain? Why is it?
Yeah.
I don't understand this side point. Isn't it, why isn't he just a villain they're going after, for one? And 2, tell me if not this girl in this picture does not look like those ads we used to have for Africa. Save the children. For
I
$1 a
in
day, you
the
can feed
arms
50,000
of an
Africans.
angel.
Right. Yeah. Right? Look at this picture, dude. That's what it looks like.
For $1 a day,
Yes.
you could save poor little Cassandra Cain's life, so she doesn't have to look after her brother and feed them on rice.
Exactly. Ooh, we went Chinese with it. Aloha.
Mhm.
Anyway, moving on from
Aloha.
this debacle. Whatever. But you go, Margot. You go. All right.
You go, girl.
Oh, a trailer.
Stunning.
A trailer.
Oh
Stunning
no,
and beautiful. Yes.
no one asks for this.
No, but I have to say, we give Michael Bay a lot of a hard time because he deserves it. But the Bad Boys series is actually pretty good. It is pretty good. So
What do you mean
I'm
series?
clicking it.
It was just one movie, wasn't it?
No, 2. There's
There's
2.
Two of them.
Yeah, this is the third one.
Oh,
Yeah. But
Bad
well,
Boys 2 is the one everyone knows.
oh, is it? I thought they were both fine. I enjoyed them. I think that pairing of Martin Lawrence and Will Smith
Will
is
Smith.
pretty good. Yeah, yeah.
They got
But
good chemistry.
they do. Let's. I'm clicking it.
One last
Ooh,
time.
it's loud. I gotta turn it down.
Uh-oh. Trailer before the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer before the trailer. I never understood that. Ooh, it's sexy.
We have upgraded the car.
It's a
Slow
Porsche.
mo spin.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, come on, man. You can get that buffed out. No.
Oh.
You can get that buffed out.
He got a little fat.
Oh,
Huh?
did he get
Mhm.
fat, or did they put a suit on him?
All right,
No,
here
no.
we go.
He's a little bit chunky.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's all
Yeah.
good. It's all good. It's funny. But all right, they're doing some action. Will Smith's in the front. He's in really good shape.
Miami PD, get
Oh,
down.
he
What
did
the
get
hell
chunky.
happened to knock and talk? Hands
Yep.
behind your head right now. I got this. I'm gonna penetrate this man's soul with my heart. What? Watch and learn. Sir, I realize that you're scared. You know, sometimes.
Blah, 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 blah. Wait, is that John Goodman?
How deep you think you got in his soul?
No, it's not.
No.
I'm done, Mike. I'm retiring. Uh-oh, here we go again. You want your legacy to be muscle shirts and body counts?
Colors on it are nice. Doesn't have that usual obnoxious Michael Bay filter.
Well,
Cypher.
this formula worked pretty well, and if he sticks to it, I think he'll be fine. You know what I mean? But I think in general, most of us appreciate most Will Smith movies. I mean, he is Will Smith. He's got his charisma. He gets the thing he does. He's not different. He's just himself. But I think we like the formula. And Martin Lawrence is a good funny man, I think. Martin got fat. He did. Fat boy. What you gonna do? Jiminy. Yeah.
Oh, no.
It looked like John Goodman. It's not. I've seen that guy before. He plays like biker stuff. He was on like Sons of Anarchy and stuff like that.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
guy's hairline's worse than mine. That's brutal, mate. You see that guy's forehead?
Dude, you're like 26 and you have a hairline like that?
No?
Oh, Jesus. Ah, this is sad. Benedict says, "Speak for yourself, Chester. I need to have the highlights displayed incoherently so that I don't lose interest halfway through." I do apologize, guys. I'd love to just watch the trailer and shut up, but we can't because we get copyright strikes from these trailers, man. It's the dumbest thing. This is supposed to be advertisement. Me playing it is free advertisement, right? But they do. They come at you. I mean, we don't get copyright strikes for anything else. It's just trailers, dude.
I
And
think
all
he's
the
talking about the trailer before the trailer thing.
oh, that thing. Oh, I see. Okay, okay.
Instead of us.
Yeah. Well,
I would
I'm not
hope so,
apologizing
Benedict Yates.
for that. Moving
Oh.
on.
Well, come on, Cap. You know I shot
Yeah,
some.
do we see that shot again from the trailer?
Uh,
That's what we should call him, a trailer.
Pepto again.
In these streets, I never trusted anybody but you. I'm asking you, man. Bad boys.
One last time.
One last time.
I'm the definition of.
Where's the really big explosions?
Oh, well, there will be. There will be. It's Michael Bay. But
We're not just black, we're cops too. We'll pull ourselves over later.
Oh. I've got some news, boys.
oh, you do. Well, hold on a second. We're almost
I've
done.
been telling your ass
Yeah.
for a year. He can't be stopped now. Shit, Mike. He's in like HD.
That was a small explosion. Come on, Michael Bay. Show me the really big explosion. Come on.
Oh, all right, all right. That was good. That was good.
So Michael Bay has nothing to do with it.
Really?
Really? I knew it. You could tell by the explosion.
Never. To it. Oh.
Y'all will never do that again. Yeah, and you
You
fucking
could tell
up
by
the
the
nerve.
explosion they were
Just
too
take a long
small.
time to learn.
That's interesting. It has nothing to do with Michael Bay. Who's directing this?
Let's see. Oh no, I'm gonna brutalize these names. Adil El Arbi and Bilal Falal.
Sweet, the
Falal.
Muslims are taking over Bad Boys. That's what I want to
Yeah.
hear. That's what I want to hear.
They, yeah. I have no idea who these guys are.
Yeah, but I'm sure Michael Bay's producing it though, dude. There's no way he's not. He's too busy with his avatar.
Produced by
Yeah,
Will
that's-
Smith
that's-
and Jerry Bruckheimer.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
No,
dude.
Michael Bay. He
Huh.
wants nothing to do with it. He said, no, don't want it.
That's too bad because it's the best stuff he's ever done. I don't know. But I mean, it's a fun, a buddy cop movie. I mean, they're fun. I like the Bad
Yeah,
Boys flicks.
yeah.
Yeah. Such language. I do apologize, Jimmy. I did. They didn't give me a red band. They used to do that. They used to have like red. This is from Sony, by the way. They used to have a red band trailer warning, but I guess they don't care anymore, huh?
It's like if you're watching online, you've probably seen worse. That's probably their thinking.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't too long ago that they were required to have the red band trailer thing on there, but it's gone. I don't know. And of course, we know YouTube is all up in arms about any kind of language. If you use any kind of vulgarity within the first couple of minutes, that algorithm just hammers on top of you, right? Now, we don't use much
yeah.
here. We use it more tastefully, I would say.
Yes,
But
yes.
but I guess Sony gets a pass, Booster.
Different rules.
Oh, Jiminy Cricket's latest comment. Oh no.
Muslim action movies, everything blows. Sweet, dude.
Oh no.
And so I
Our
guess
peanut
this is
gallery's funnier than we are.
Right.
I guess this is a movie. Muslim action heroes.
Ooh, wow. That was
Ugh.
you've done some pretty bad dad jokes here over the time, George. But I'm writing that down. I'm putting that on the list. That's going on the list. Just so
That's
you
a
know,
bad one,
that's
isn't
your
it?
The top
third
one.
strike, George.
Oh. Apparently these guys are Belgian.
Of course they are. Thanks to Angela Merkel, they're Belgian. That's why.
Yeah.
But you guys do realize one of the biggest no-go zones in Europe from all this migration and stuff is in Belgium, right? Sweden is
That's probably
lost.
where
We
they
know it,
filmed
but
this.
maybe. But no, it looks like it's in Miami. But
Yeah.
that's actually true. I know Sweden is completely lost. I get that. I mean, the military leader was begging for help from Europe, which no one gave, which I thought was interesting. But no, Belgium has this huge no-go zone, Muslim no-go zone. It's extremely dangerous. The cops don't go anywhere near it. Right. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Just like Michigan, all of a sudden, is the home of American Muslims. Go figure, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It is Michigan, right? Yeah, it's Michigan. Dearborn, Michigan. Yeah, that's where that's where Obama put them all. So anyway, dang Belgium Muslims, dude. They're very dangerous place, dude. But anyway, might be cool. Looks good. Pretty normal. Same shtick. I'm moving on though. Oh, this. I'm gonna cross my fingers. Go ahead, go ahead, Denali. I'm crossing my
All
fingers.
right. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Friday the 13th writer ridiculed the notion that winning back the rights means the writer skills of America's demise. Basically, during the court of appeal, that the current rule is after 35 years, the scripts rights that are being optioned by studios would go back to the script writers, and they're fighting and fighting hard.
Mhm.
Say no, they can't do that because they'll destroy the writer skills and all that stuff.
Right. So
I
this
mean,
has nothing to do with the Friday the 13th, actually. Damn it.
right?
So my fingers are
Yeah.
uncrossed. It's one of those articles where rich people are fighting with rich people. Sweet. I don't know. What do you
Yay.
guys think about unions? Unions have gone down in the past 20 years. They've been just kind of falling like a rock. And under Trump, they're crashing even harder in just a few year period. Do you think there's a future for unions, or are they dead?
That's interesting about unions is that originally they were put together to unify um, the employees' uh, concerns
Yeah, no,
under
sure.
with one voice. But that really doesn't make a whole bunch of sense now to have a union to do that, because you can unify on social media against one company or
Yeah,
corporation,
that's true.
and it'll be a lot more powerful than a union, because the union is only speaking for the employees, while the employees on the social media can rally the entire world for them and actually put a dent in the profit of the company, which means the company either is going to bite the bullet and succumb to the employees' wishes, or go out of business, or, dare I say, fire the employees, which is highly unlikely because it'll make them look bad.
Yeah. Um,
So,
But
wow.
the funny thing though is, George, I get everything you're saying there, but to kind of layer on top of that, the interesting thing is a lot of the unions are starting to lean toward and even possibly offering support to Donald Trump. That's weird, dude. That's very weird, Booster. The unions are staunch Democrats, dude. Staunch. A lot of the money and payoffs they do are to Democratic candidates and stuff, particularly more locally, of course, more so than presidential. But
Well,
uh, yeah,
that wouldn't make sense, because Donald Trump is actually trying to get more companies to come back to
he is. Yeah,
America, and which means that the unions will actually have a business.
yeah, but that's a death knell for the Democrats if that happens, though, dude. Yeah, that is. That they completely lost their base. Now we know they're leaning more and more communist, but that's a complete loss of your base, right? And I don't think they understand that there's not enough communists in the country to support a bid for election. There's not. There's a very small percentage of very loud and violent and dangerous communists in America, and of course, that's always the truth. But to lose the unions would be absolute suicide for the Democrats, dude. It's interesting. Now, this is basically saying in this article that if he gets back the rights to it, and somehow this takes the union's power away, meaning you can do it individually instead of having to have a union do it for you. I'm assuming that's what this article is talking about, Denali.
Something in that vein.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which means it's boring as hell. Awesome.
Mhm.
Let's see. Benedict Yates says Dearborn, Michigan. Michigan has been the largest Muslim population outside the Middle East for about a decade. Yeah, no, I know, dude. Barack Obama, he wouldn't say where he's putting them. We know where he put them now. He put them all there. And you guys can go online. You can find a bunch of videos of those happy little peaceful, the religion of peace Muslims over there giving a hard time and to the local people who grew up there, been there for generations, going to their festivals and stuff like that, throwing things at them, intimidating them. It's
Oh,
wonderful. The
no,
religion of
no,
peace
they're
is just amazing.
peaceful.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't say that about them. It's not true. Don't be
It is
hateful.
very true. There's dozens of videos you can go see with these wonderful Muslims intimidating
What?
and hurting the people of Dearborn. And of course, that's the reason why they've taken over the area because all the people were kind of forced out. It's pretty disgusting,
Mm,
dude, if you go look at it. And of course, what
yeah.
we did was gave them a hold. In America, Obama did it, and people keep saying, "Quit trying to say that the Obama is a secret Muslim. He's not. He's a Christian." hmm 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 Yeah, the evidence
Yeah,
piles up.
there's plenty of videos where Obama says to the contrary.
No, and the fact that he many times accidentally gave weapons, major weapon caches to his ISIL, as he liked to say, instead of ISIS, and he's like, "Oops, sorry, that was an accident. I apologize for them getting all of those containers that landed right there next to them and nowhere near our military." Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. St. Louis has the largest Bosnian population outside of Bosnia. Oh goodness gracious! I don't get me going on that, dude, because I'm going to start making what's his face Biden jokes now. I'm not doing it. I'm moving on, moving on. I'm not gonna. I'm that. See, I can
Yes.
control
Yeah.
myself. I did it, Denali. Go ahead.
All right. So from Bounty into Comic, Microsoft Mixer announcing new streamer review system as part of an initiative to combat toxicity.
Toxicity. Oh, yeah. These always go well. Oh
Uh,
no.
Now, yeah, unfortunately, what it looks like with this is we know Mixer because a lot of people are looking for a place better than YouTube, right? And they're trying to go,
Mm,
BitChute or DLive or a Mixer and things like that. Of course, this is more of a Twitch answer, and we've
Mhm.
seen like Mr. Metacore go over to DLive, and who was it? Went over Mixer, Ninja, right? But
Yep.
yeah, that's because
uh,
they paid him a
of course, they
crap
paid him
ton.
a lot of money, and good for him, right?
Mm,
But the thing it's funny with this is even though they keep going to these other places looking for a place that just allows them to speak, they keep adding these rules. These nope, well, we're going to shut you up rules, and I
every
can't
time.
every time, and I can't believe that
Mm.
they're shocked that Microsoft would follow lead. They always do, right? I mean, so it is what it is. It's not much of an article as far as I'm concerned. You can go read if you like, but it's like typical, right? Hate speech is not tolerated on Mixer under any circumstances. Okay, is that true? Because most of the hate speech I hear is actually coming out of the left wing. Are you going to fairly balance this mitigation of hate speech on both sides?
Actually, that doesn't count as hate speech because this little formula I came up with, prejudice plus power
Yeah,
times works outwards by also whiteness. So therefore, you're technically not being oppressed. Haha, I got you, white man.
quantum
Now,
theory, sweet.
now
Well,
sit there while I insult you more.
technically, hate speech is not hate speech; it's free speech. And
Mm.
the what they're saying is hate speech. What they're really wanting to say is call to action. If somebody says, hypothetically, of course, so we won't get dinged by YouTube. Hypothetically, if somebody says, "I want you to go kill XYZ,"
Mm,
to his followers, that is a call to action,
it
and
is.
that is what is against the law. But thinking, I wonder if XYZ will ever get hurt in some way or another. That's not hate
Uh-huh.
speech. That's
No.
free speech.
Yeah, and Cortez did it recently. No punishment. Mark Wade did it. No punishment. Nothing. right? But this says here is continuing any derogatory or insulting comments that is directed at a specific group of people may be considered hate speech. Okay. Any comment perceived by staff to be derogatory or insulting to people based on discrimination, including but not limited to race, age, sexuality, physical characteristics such as weight or glasses. I can't remember the last time I heard a four-eye joke. Gender identity, disability, military service. Ooh, that's interesting. Religion and/or nationality will be considered hate speech. Breaking this rule is an automatic global ban. Well, damn, that's worse than YouTube, dude.
Boom.
That's harsher than YouTube.
That's not hate speech. That's offensive speech. That has nothing to do with hate speech.
Yeah, I know it does, dude. It's not hate speech. It's just opinion, right? I mean, the problem I think we're running into a little bit is America technically is the only country on the planet that actually protects speech. There's no other country that actually protects speech to the level that America does. A lot of countries do have little clauses in their constitution that allow for free speech, but the American Constitution is the most all-encompassing. I think is really what it gets to, the Bill of Rights. But I think what we're doing, where things are so global now and so international that I think we're starting to rub up against some of these other countries' ideas, and there, of course, it's quite convenient for the people in power that that is true. I don't know. I do appreciate the fact that they mentioned military service because that means that maybe they are going to be fair and balanced about it. Because if they are fair and balanced, I don't think it's right. I think you should let people say anything they want. But if you're going to be fair and balanced about it, well, I guess I'm okay with that. Uh, you know, but
Which they won't be.
they won't be. No, they course them won't be. But then again, Microsoft has not shown a tendency to be ultra woke like Google or Apple do. Microsoft has
Mm.
always been a little more balanced, to be fair. I mean, just to be fair. I don't know. It's stupid though. That's more strict than YouTube though, because YouTube basically the new policy they're doing is I think is fine really. You say whatever you want, but if you're saying something we don't like, we're not going to monetize you. Okay, right? I mean that's fair enough. So you can't threaten people's lives and stuff like that. Sure, I of course not. But I'm fine with that YouTube stance. Of course, I'm not interested in monetization, so I guess it doesn't mean anything to me. But I don't know. Mix. It sounds harsher than YouTube though with this mixer. What do you think, Denali?
I'm thinking that with all this, basically, one, if you're like Ninja or you say something or you're reading off the comments, just reading off the comments, somebody's trolling you, you'll most likely be banned just because of that. Or you know how people troll things and they write things and you're reading it out and you don't realize what you read out until the fact. That's also a troll thing, and it slips sometimes. You're in the heat of the moment or something. So this is really so strict
It
that
is. It is.
you're looking like instant ban for anything. So basically, it's just let me play the game. It's cool. You do this. You do this. Okay, sorry, folks. I can't talk to you. Not looking at chat, which is part of the interaction. That's part of the appeal
Oh,
of
chat is
a
the
lot of
worst, Denali. Chat is the
yeah,
worst. That's for sure. Oh,
yeah.
hi guys.
Mm. Oh,
Hi.
oh, he
But
lost his,
oh no, oh no.
Oh no.
But Benedict, this is an interesting little comment here I want to cover. Well,
Sure.
now they are trying to get the ignorant teen voters by telling them that the hurricanes, floods, and fires are all due to global warming. They are doing that. But another thing I saw recently I thought was very, very funny, if not tragic, was during Dorian here, which thank goodness Florida didn't get hit that bad, but Bahamas got wiped the hell out, right? And how many people did you see, including congressmen and women, that came out and says, "Why isn't Donald Trump doing more to help Americans?" They're
Because
actually. You go ahead. You finish the joke. Go ahead.
I was going to say because they're not
Because
American.
they're not Americans, right? They're
I, I,
Bahamians, right?
I mean, unless Donald Trump made a secret purchase, where he was telling everybody, "Hey guys, I'm buying Greenland," but he really bought the
Bahamas, yeah, Bahamas.
Bahamas, and
Yeah.
our
But
leader just leaked it. It's like,
yeah, but
dang it, that was
peop
that was going to be a surprise for the Americans for Christmas. Good job, Congress, for
damn
ruining
it,
it.
Congress. But no, dude, I mean, that's how stupid people are. And these are actual congressmen saying this kind of stuff, dude. You've got to be kidding me, dude. And then, of course, they totally ignore the fact that anytime there's a world disaster, America is always right there. And we were right there that time, too. The American Coast Guard was on that stuff immediately, right? But they don't give any credit
Right,
for that. Nope, don't mention it. Oh, what are all these American helicopters flying around? I don't see nothing, right? Ridiculous.
right.
Stupid
I
people,
mean,
man.
just to be serious for a moment, uh, the Bahamas were basically, there was no island for a period of 5 hours. Everything was completely underwater,
Yeah, several of those
except for
little
the
islands. Yeah, that's true, dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
So there was no Bahama Islands for
yeah,
that period of time, which is
it
kind
is.
of scary if you think about it.
Yeah. Now, they do make here a comment here in the back. It says a political streamer discussing Second Amendment rights. A viewer complains, do they get global ban? These are questions. Some of the questions coming out, but the next sentence I think is interesting. While it raises some question, in fairness to Mixer, the platform is more orderly than Twitch. Now, if they like I just said, if they follow this universally, I mean completely universally, I don't have a lot of trouble with it because Twitch is absolute. No, we don't use Twitch, but Twitch is absolutely out of control because they have a lot of rules, and if you're either an unattractive female or a male, they will hammer you as quick as possible, right? But if you're a girl sitting up there showing off your tits and wagging your ass around, which is breaking their rules, they say nothing. So Twitch is completely
Hmm.
two-faced, completely two-faced.
You
Uh,
can throw a cat across the room if you like. They
Oh
don't
yeah.
care.
No, right.
Yeah.
Right. And if you are a male and you do something that's just like an accident, like some guy was he had his camera up and he was driving, he was just kind of talking to the camera, they banned him, right? But we had a
What?
girl who was sitting there running racing around doing goofy things, same exact thing, actually got pulled over by the cops, which she filmed. Nothing, right? It's
Hello, officer.
Well, and she actually did try to do the tit thing with the cop, and he wasn't
Oh my
having it because she wasn't very pretty.
god.
But
Yeah.
but no, but I mean, Twitch is completely biased, 100% biased. So if Mixer is actually going to do this completely by the book and completely in an egalitarian way, it might be a good thing. I don't know. I wish we had a place where you could just go and say whatever you want to say. I mean, sure, don't call for action. Don't do that. I get that because that's a whole different type of speech. But we should have a place where people can say whatever the hell they want. Let the free market decide, right? Because it's the same thing with they're trying to pass in this Equality Act. They're trying to pass things where like if you're a store or something like that and you don't sell a cake to a gay wedding, it's automatically federal now, right? Is what they're trying to do. It's not going to pass, but
Mm.
that's what they're trying to do, and that is absolutely ridiculous because in the juxtaposition of that, we know that they won't get in any trouble if gays don't make a cake for a straight wedding, right? We know this, and that's completely nonsense. And in a way, maybe they should put the federal law in because then it'll come back to bite them in the ass, is what'll happen. But this is stupid. If a company doesn't want to make a cake for someone for any reason, they should be able to not make that cake. And you know what? The community around is going to make a decision. We either support that idea or we don't. Let the free market decide because the free market always works it out in the end. And when you bring in these people trying to put laws on top or special interest groups and things like that, that's when you kill economies. Look at what happened to Japan and Germany after the war. They grew like mad, dude. It was a ridiculous amount of economic growth. And then as soon as those governments started doing special interests, helping their buddies out, and started putting regulation on top of stuff, they started having major problems, right? And it's always true. The free market is the only way to go, and because it applies it to everything, not just the dollar, right? It's driven by the intimidation of the dollar, right? Anyway, that was my libertarian rant, so thank you. Let's see.
Mhm.
Benedict Gates says, check out I'm Not American by the Arrogant Worms. Okay. Well, then you can leave now. Cult Film Video says, ironically, prisons are the only place free speech exists. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Now, this is our last article of the day, guys. And Rob Liefeld has something to say.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So this is from Cosmic Book News. Rod Liefeld said DC Comics should be vaporized and Superman is boring. So basically, they're talking about the current universe, current storyline. He should vaporize
Uh,
the whole thing and start from scratch because it's crap.
so why is Rob Liefeld threatening violence on DC? What's going on? This
I
is
don't know.
I mean, unless he has some kind of death beam, I don't think Rob Liefeld can vaporize anyone. But
he might. Dude.
I don't know. I can't stand Bendis' Superman. I didn't get far, mind
Sure.
you. So who knows? It could be much better.
It
But
isn't.
I doubt that somehow.
you, you don't even believe those words that came out of your mouth.
Right?
Vaporize and save, and that Superman is boring. He's just saying that the character is boring, or the current run of Superman is boring.
He thinks that DC Comics should have a reboot, a complete reboot, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't last. I mean, because we still
Well, we
have,
had one. It was called Rebirth, and it was fantastic
yes,
for a while. And
Mm.
then, well, they were threatening us for a while. They were saying Bendis is coming, and
And
we
he
didn't
came.
heed the warning. He came. He
Yeah.
came everywhere, and it was messy.
Well, it's kind of like the New 52. I thought it started out pretty good, and then it got to a point where people really were upset with it. But it's interesting. He mentions in this article here, he says, time for a new crisis at DC. Just vaporize it and begin again. Use Marv Wolfman's unused outline from 1985. I wish I knew what that outline is, but Marv Wolfman's a pretty good writer.
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it's 1985 Wolf Marvin, then it's a pretty good story.
I bet.
Better than whatever stories
Yeah.
they're cooking up right now. That's for sure.
Well, I lay this every time. I always blame the same guy. It's Bendis. He opened the door for
No.
these talentless hacks
It's
to come
Didio,
in and
dude.
ruin
It's Dan Didio.
DC.
It's
Yeah.
Dan
Well,
Didio.
who let in Bendis?
Well, that's right. I'm saying it's him though, because he's the
Yes.
one that's using Bendis and Tom King to wrap us about the ears. I mean, that's what he's doing. It's really
And
Didio.
he always
Yeah.
he's got this idea of what he thinks people want, but he's so out of touch.
Well, look at this last little bit here. It's kind of interesting. DC Comics closing ? It has actually been put forth that Warner Media may close DC Comics as an article published by Forbes back in July, questioning how DC fits within AT&T's vision. So maybe Liefeld's insightful tweets are onto something. The article by Forbes questioning the future of DC Comics points out that this past San Diego Comic-Con saw the DC booth significantly changed for the worse, and that it was no longer a centerpiece of the hall. Noting AT&T does not seem terribly interested in being in the comic book publishing business. Well, I guess that's a conversation unto itself, but comics in general, I think this is missing the point that comics in general are on their knees, right? It's not just DC, and I think DC is doing better than Marvel, actually. But it's missing kind of the bigger picture, I think, of this article. Who wrote this article?
Except for female Furies.
Except for that.
and
Matt
that
McClellan.
woman
Yeah.
that's running there. Yeesh.
Whatever. I guess Liefeld's not really wrong. It's interesting. They took his comment a little bit out of context, but they always do that.
I was very happy with DC for a time, but yeah, everything went downhill as soon as Bendis came into the picture.
Yeah, and
for Heroes in Crisis, and with Tom King losing what little talent he had, yeesh.
Yeah, and it's funny that you've gotten to this point, Booster, because I remember when we started talking about the Bendis and Tom King making his shift, you were really wanting to defend Tom King.
I did. I
Yeah.
was. I was like, no, you guys, Tom King, he's gonna be good. Trust me, you guys.
Right.
I was an ignorant little boy.
Well, you were hopeful, and that's not a bad
Oh,
thing.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he was going to. It was the finale of Mr. Miracle that made me lose all hope in.
Oh, that was
in Tom
horrible,
King.
dude.
If-
But yeah.
what this should have been. It would have been a ripoff of for the man who had for the man who is everything, and I don't mind. What I would have loved to have seen was Mr. Miracle having to admit to this fake barter and his fake child that they're not real.
Yeah.
That's what that story needed, and for him to escape, and that would have made for a fantastic ending.
It could have been. Yeah,
But
it
no.
could have been cool because it started cool. But it
Mhm.
didn't go there. But I mean, we've talked about that ad nauseum about that whole topic. But I
Yeah,
do have to
yeah.
say, looking at this piece of art, I don't like it. I don't like this
No,
piece of art. No, I don't like it. It's
it is a
not my
little
favorite.
awkward.
It is. It's
Yeah.
off. It's not right. George, why don't I like this art?
I would say it's a perspective issue. It doesn't look like he's lying down. He looks like he's standing up and going.
Are
"Ugh."
they supposed to be
I
lying
don't.
down?
Yeah.
George,
Yeah,
help me out,
yeah.
George.
Well, the art looks very structured. He shows consistency, understands volume, action, emotion.
George, you
I
suck a
guess
lot. I
I
just
guess
want you to know
you
that. You suck a
don't
lot,
like.
George. Now, there's something about that art that's off, for sure. And George knows the answer, but he won't tell us because he's mean. But well, it's interesting, Benedict. What is an internet and phone company doing making decisions for comics? Well, they own it. They can do whatever they want. It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of like Hasbro buying Death Row Records.
Yep.
F the police. Anyway, sorry. But
My
that's
Little
so
Pony
perfect.
would be having My
Right.
Little Pony's having the Death Row songs in there.
Oh, did you see the Louder
Cool.
Crowder? My little Tupac, my little Tupac. It was funny, dude. I
And
love.
that was the music that came out of left field. I was surprised
It
when I
was
saw it
awesome,
as
dude.
well.
The Steven Crowder, their production value has increased a lot. Louder with Crowder,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
my wife I watched their weekly show, and my wife loves it too because they make her laugh, right? Because they're fun. They're comedians. Is really what they are. But
Yeah,
that
yeah.
little my little Tupac, that was perfect, dude. It was perfect. But anyway, let me come back over the other side here. Um, and interesting lineup of stories. I didn't get too angry today, Dinelli. Not too much.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
It,
That's
yeah.
always good. It's a happy day. We're happy.
Yeah.
Happy, yeah, yeah. And do keep in mind though that just as an aside, do keep the people of Bahamas in your mind because that's devastating what happened to them, dude. I mean, half of the damn houses on those islands were wiped out. Half.
Yep.
And Denali wasn't joking. There were times during that storm where some of those islands, or at least portions of them, were literally under the ocean. I mean, that's how bad that storm surge was. I mean, I know they're flat islands, and I get that, but that's really bad, dude. And I can't even imagine what the death toll is. I think it's a little bit better than what it say would have happened in Haiti/Dominica, that island there.
Yeah.
But because a lot of the people who live in the Bahamas are actually rich people who have their vacation houses there. So of course they weren't there. But the locals it's just wiped out, dude. So just keep them in mind. And I don't know how much you guys are into charity or anything like that, but if you are, throw some money at them, see if you can help a little bit because that's really bad, dude. I got a little bit more sympathy for him, I suppose, because we had Tohoku over here in Japan, and it was so devastating. Of course, we lost 20,000 Japanese in that event. Hopefully,
Mhm.
the death toll is nowhere near that over in Bahamas, but I think it's going to jump for this few to hundreds, maybe thousands, actually.
It's never during the storm that's the most dangerous. Funny enough, it's before and after, and because of all this lingering water and all these ruined houses and these live
Yeah,
power lines,
that's a good point.
that's really where the danger comes from. So you'll see the death toll rise like a few days afterwards. I say people starting to kind of rebuild their lives, oddly enough.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, same thing could be said for Kobe. If you guys remember
Mhm.
the giant Kobe earthquake that leveled that place, most of the death and destruction, happened after, because it was during the winter, and everyone had their little kerosene lighters, was what the Japanese do, little standing room, heater type things, the kerosene stuff, and they all fell over and burned. There was just fires all across Kobe. It was after that the biggest trouble came. And actually, it's what changed here in Japan now. You can't buy one of those kerosene things without it having the little kill switch on the bottom. So when it falls over, the switch is released, by gravity, and the spring is in there, and it shuts off. So it actually created that technology came into play actually.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's up to 20 now, Jiminy. Yeah, I think it's going to get a lot worse, dude. That was really bad. Um, oh well. We'll see. I know that the American military and particularly Coast Guard are over there helping. I'm sure Trump will be sending as much help as they will accept, as many other countries will. That's one thing that's really good is Western countries. And I think it has a lot to do with Christianity, actually, whether you like that or not. I think it's true. The charity of the Christian faith makes them kind of go out and help in these situations. But what it does is it causes other countries around the world to react because they don't want to look bad. So it's a very positive thing, and I'm sure the help flooding into Bahamas is enormous as usual. So, but just keep them in your mind because that's really bad. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Had a bit of a long show today, but fun. And
Yeah.
I think we
We
had some.
trail off all the time. It's ridiculous.
We do, we do,
Fun.
we do. But we have fun with it, and we appreciate you guys coming in. Of course, love you guys. Do keep in mind that here in about 40 minutes, you get the pro edition of Drone and Quartered, and go over there and support Zach. He had a great piece when he won last week. So definitely go support him. This week, tomorrow, we're doing cereal. And cereal mascots. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. So definitely come back for that tomorrow. But yeah, Dinale, take us out of here, man.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for Comics News Today. Join us tomorrow for Comics News Today at 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the fan edition of Drawn and Quarter at 10 p.m. Eastern. With Serial, and upcoming will be Fan Speak at 8 p.m. with our guest Steve McCollin from Door Kickers. As always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Later, guys.
Aloha.